ladies and gentlemen, I have news right now. It is Saturday, March 23rd, 2019. We are 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. I wouldn't be sitting here and lie to you guys if I said that I sold my WrestleMania tickets. I did. Reason why I sold my WrestleMania tickets, simple. Do you see the card that we're getting for WrestleMania? I'm looking at my phone. As I'm about to hit record. And I look at the WrestleMania 35 card, as you guys see right here on my phone. I have the WrestleMania 35 card on my phone. We have Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. Then we got Ronda versus Becky versus Charlotte in a triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. Then we got Buddy Murphy defending his Cruiserweight Championship against Tony Nese. Then we got Triple H versus Batista, no holds barred. Then we got Kurt Angle versus Baron fucking Corbin in Angle's farewell match. Then we got Shane McMahon versus The Miz. Then we got Orton versus Styles. I'm expecting that matchup to steal the fucking show at MetLife Stadium. Then we got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Then we got Samoa Joe defending the United States Championship against Rey Mysterio. And then we got Asuka defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against the winner of the Fatal 4-Way that's going to be on SmackDown this upcoming Tuesday. What is missing in this card? Three championships are missing in this card. The Intercontinental Championship, missing. The Raw Tag Team titles, missing. SmackDown Tag Team titles, missing. There's a report going around that I will report today on the podcast here at episode 13. The Tag Team division will be possibly snubbed at WrestleMania. I wonder why. According to my phone here, according to my calculations on my iPhone XS Max, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 matches on the card. Can you sit here and tell me, out of these 10 matches, who in the fuck deserves to be at WrestleMania's card? Lesnar and Rollins, that's a given. Rollins won the Rumble, Lesnar's Universal Champion. Let me remind you that Brock Lesnar is a part-timer. Shall I continue on? Then you got Ronda versus Becky versus Charlotte. Okay, that's fine. That's fine with me. Then we got Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. That's fine. They had a tournament. That was fine. That's fine. Then we got Triple H against Batista in a no-holds-barred match. So far in this card, we have 3 part-timers. 3. And that's only in the first 4 matches that I announced. Then we got Angle versus Corbin. So we got Angle, Triple H, Batista, and Brock Lesnar. We have 4 part-timers. Shane is 5. You really count Orton as a part-timer? No. That's it. So far we have Shane, Kurt, Batista, Triple H, and Lesnar. Rumor has it that John Cena is confirmed for WrestleMania. So make that 6. 6 part-timers for WrestleMania. Can I ask you a question? What in the blue fuck? Matter of fact, not what in the blue fuck. Why are you getting these part-timers to compete at WrestleMania? If anything, these part-timers shouldn't even be at WrestleMania. To be honest, Lesnar shouldn't even be Universal Champion to begin with. For some reason, I just don't feel like this is WrestleMania season. I don't. Which is the reason why I sold my WrestleMania tickets. Because I'm not going to sit there and what could possibly be a fucking blizzard. Can you believe it? There's a report going around that there's a blizzard that can possibly happen that can cancel WrestleMania. We'll go over it here in the podcast today. I'm looking through my notes from my news. I'm like, what the fuck? I gotta report this. What the fuck? A blizzard that can possibly cancel WrestleMania 35. At this point, I hope the blizzard happens. I hope it does. Because I do not want to sit there for 8 fucking hours at MetLife Stadium and shit, possibly drunk, tired as fuck, not even wanting to be at MetLife Stadium. I'd rather be at home on the comfort of my own home, in my PJs, taking notes while watching this piece of shit show known as WrestleMania. Yet, Dean Ambrose is not in this card. Yet, The Undertaker is not in this card. We have news on The Undertaker today here on the podcast, man. We have news on The Undertaker. Just know. For some reason, this doesn't feel like his WrestleMania season. It just doesn't. And I'm going to pull up a tweet that my boy TM said earlier on the group chat. And TM, I hope you're watching, bro, because I really think what you said was 100% true. TM said, man, can World Wrestling Entertainment do anything right anymore? Just look at WrestleMania season. They had gold and they turned it into a bronze. Is it possible that it could be something under bronze? You see, coming out of the Royal Rumble, we had this, excitement. Oh, Rollins won the Rumble. Becky won the Royal Rumble. Things were getting good. I'm like, finally, this feels like WrestleMania season. The Raw after the Rumble, it felt like, it's WrestleMania season. It felt like it was WrestleMania season. We got Becky coming out at that Raw, and then Rollins challenged Lesnar for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. I'm like, yes, this is the beginning of WrestleMania season until things went down to the point to no return. Yet the casuals are going to say, oh, Chris, man, this WrestleMania going to be lit, bro. Listen, my WrestleMania is Friday night. Friday, April 5th. That's my WrestleMania. An event called NXT TakeOver New York. Which I will be at Barclays Center, by the way. I will be at Barclays Center on April 5th. I'm going to JD's meet and greet first from 1 to 4. And then I will be taking the 4 train to Barclays Center in Brooklyn for TakeOver New York, man. TakeOver should be good. I'm not going to lie to you. TakeOver should be good. But without any further ado, if you guys don't know who I am of course Chris. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel on this Saturday, March 23rd, 2019. Now, before I begin with the podcast, I have something to tell you guys. As you guys know, I am a security officer at Yankee Stadium. I've been working there so far for 3 years. I started working there back in 2017. Opening day for baseball season. For all my baseball fans out there, opening day starts this Thursday. And I said this, I believe, last week or 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to mention it here again if you guys didn't catch on to it. Starting next Thursday, I'm officially back at work because the Yankee season will begin. Yankees have their opening day. Yankees have their quick 6-game homestand starting next Thursday. I do not know. I'm going to say this now. I do not know how I am going to work my upload schedule because the baseball season runs from the end of March all the way to October, depending on how long the playoffs go. So I'm thinking to myself, I have to work on a different upload schedule. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not quitting YouTube. Don't get me wrong. I'm not quitting YouTube for you guys. No, I'm not doing that. It's just that how am I going to keep up the consistency of my uploads? How am I going to continue to grow my channel if I'm working at the same time? So let's say, for example, I'm at work and I'm missing Monday Night Raw. I have to go to work, do what I got to do, make money, come back home, watch Monday Night Raw, take notes, and then give you guys Raw review on a Tuesday. The same thing for SmackDown. SmackDown, I go to work, come home, watch SmackDown, take notes, do a review. It'll be uploaded on Wednesday. So, and so on and so forth. You go, NXT is Wednesday, review Thursday. So then there you go. So I have no idea how I'm going to keep up the consistency of my channel. So, you know, I want to hit at least 100 subs before next week. I don't know if that's even possible at this point, but I want to get to at least maybe 60 or 70 before I go back to work on Thursday. But I have to work on a completely different schedule between next Thursday all the way to October, depending if the Yankees make the playoffs or not this year. I mean, according to that Yankee team this year, they're going to make the playoffs this year. No question. Just that how long they will last in the postseason. So I have no idea. I have to work on a schedule starting now because it's a long season. It's a very long season. It's a very long season. So I have to keep you guys updated on content. You know, Raw review, SmackDown review, NXT review, Throwback Thursday, Top 10 Fridays, the podcast, and gaming content on Sundays. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to figure something out. But if you guys don't know who I am, I'm, of course, Chris. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel. If you guys are enjoying the podcast, man, hit that thumbs up. Let's get this video to 10 thumbs up right here on the channel, man. Comment down below what you guys think of the podcast. And if you guys are new to the channel, you guys are looking for Raw review, SmackDown review, NXT review, Throwback Thursday, Top 10 Fridays, the reality podcast, and gaming content on Sundays, hit that subscribe button down below, man. Ring those bells, man, for all notifications. If I can get my fucking... There you go. Check out the content, man. Yesterday, man. Friday, I uploaded my top 10 dream matches of all time, man. I love this freaking picture. Sting, you know, with the card of the Undertaker with the streak on it. I mean, come on. You could have given me this match, but there's news on Sting. Just know, man, there is news on Sting and the Undertaker. So check out top 10. What I uploaded yesterday. Link to this video will be in the annotation on the upper right hand corner of your screen. Throwback Thursday, man. WrestleMania 21. In my opinion, one of the most underrated WrestleManias of all time. Batista and John Cena winning their respective brands championships on the same night. Link to this video will be in the annotation on the upper right hand corner of your screen, man. NXT, man. Triple H announces the NXT title match at TakeOver. If you guys don't know yet, Adam Cole will be fighting against Johnny Gargano for the vacant NXT Championship at TakeOver New York in a best 2 out of 3 falls match, man. Link to this video will be in the annotation on the upper right-hand corner. Also, man, SmackDown review. If you guys want to see a epic rant, check out SmackDown review, man. Link to this video will be in the annotation. Just know, my rant was so good, bro. So good. Crazy. To the fucking point. Link to this video is in the annotation. And also, guys, Raw review. Angle picks Corbin for his final match at WrestleMania. There is news. Angle versus Corbin at WrestleMania is quote-unquote reconsidered. So check out Raw review, man. Link to that video will be in the annotation on the upper right-hand corner of your screen, man. Follow me on social media. This is the official home of the reality podcast right here on YouTube, man. So make sure you guys are up to date by following me on social media. Twitter, Chris from Loring. Instagram, your boy Chris_WFB. And Snapchat, Chris Most Hated. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Ring those bells, man, for all notifications. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel. Before I begin, I want to start doing subscriber stories on the channel. So if you guys want to send me any kind of subscriber story, my email will be down below in the description, man. Make sure if you guys want me to read anything you guys want to send me and stuff, I will read it to you guys next week on episode 14 of the reality podcast right here on YouTube. So let's begin with the podcast, man. I have a lot of news, man. I have a shit ton of news, but let's begin with the news, man. WWE is considering Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin at WrestleMania 35. I wonder why. I wonder fucking why. Kurt Angle announces his WrestleMania farewell opponent as Baron Corbin, and everyone lost their fucking mind, including me. Nobody seemed happy about this except for Baron Corbin, but it seems the fan backlash might be encouraging World Wrestling Entertainment to change their minds about this one. In a day and age where the fans are considered to be more valuable than ever, WWE is doing a lot of things that people want to see. They certainly don't want the WrestleMania crowd dumping on anything that they do for Angle's farewell match either. Now, WrestleVotes reports that there is some hope that World Wrestling Entertainment might change this match because they were blindsided by the negative reaction. Therefore, a swap could be coming. This is what WrestleVotes tweeted on Twitter. From a source, Angle versus Corbin is being quote-unquote reconsidered, end quote. WWE did not expect this type of negative reaction, and thus they don't want such a negative feel to Angle's final contest. Where Wrestling Entertainment loves to get heat, but this kind was the real kind that nobody wants, and they realize that. Let's hope the second booking attempt for Angle's farewell match is better than the first if they do give it another go. When you look at Kurt Angle, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the term Kurt Angle? Possibly one of the greatest of all time. That's check. That's factual. But is Angle in my top 10? No. Top 20? Top 15? Yes. But not in my top 10. Not in my top 10. When I think about Kurt Angle, I think about, the three I's. I think it's integrity, intensity, and intelligence. I think that's the three I's. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the three I's. When you think about Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist. He won the Olympic Games with a broken freaking neck. Shit like that. Angle deserves a whole lot better than Baron fucking Corbin. I heard a rumor. I don't know if this is a rumor or not, but take this with a grain of salt. John Cena is confirmed for WrestleMania. Now, if you guys saw Raw last Monday night in Chicago, even that Chicago crowd couldn't even save the show last week. I'm not even going to lie to you. Before Angle's announcement, Raw was just bad. Not going to say it was good, but it was bad. Like, bad, boring, didn't want to watch Monday Night Raw. To be honest, I didn't even want to give you guys a review on Raw Monday Night. I didn't want to. But fuck it, I got to give you guys content, right? So we get to Kurt Angle's announcement, right? And everybody's thinking, oh, it could be John Cena, it could be The Undertaker, it could be anybody else, right? Anybody else. Angle decides to pick Baron Corbin. Mind you, we're in Chicago. Why is the crowd? Why is the crowd in Chicago chanting for John Cena? Does everybody want to see Cena versus Angle for the final time? It makes sense. The only opponent I would love to see Kurt Angle go up against is John Cena. And especially, Angle should have announced that last Monday Night on Raw in Chicago. Remember when Cena made his debut? He fought Kurt Angle in his debut. Remember fucking bald Kurt Angle against a young John Cena? That would be the perfect opportunity for Cena to come back and challenge Angle to a match at WrestleMania. The perfect opportunity for that to happen. But, of course, Vince, the old senile fuck, didn't even think about that. That's why the crowd in Chicago was chanting for John Cena. Mind you, this is the same city that hated John Cena. Remember 2011 in Chicago against CM Punk versus John Cena? Money in the Bank? Remember how Cena was booed like crazy that night? Now, you fans in Chicago want to cheer John Cena? Cena! Are you serious? But I'm expecting Cena to show up at WrestleMania against Kurt Angle. Let me know down below in the comment section about that. Okay. Would a blizzard, a blizzard. Would a blizzard cause World Wrestling Entertainment to cancel WrestleMania 35? Now, I remember last year, opening day last year, the Yankees finished a quick road trip before they came back home for the home opener last year. And I remember I was driving to work and it snowed like crazy. So I'm telling myself, is my job going to call me, tell me that don't come in today, they're going to make up the game for tomorrow? Or do I have to show up to the building, let them know that, oh, the game's canceled, come back tomorrow? So I show up to the building, I clocked in and everything, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Chris, the game got postponed, you can come back tomorrow. Same time tomorrow. So I clock out, get in my car, drive home, went back to sleep. Simple as that. They canceled the home opener last year. It is a possibility. And mind you, it snowed on April last year. I think in the beginning of April last year, it snowed. It's a possibility it can snow again this year, and it can possibly cancel WrestleMania. WWE has a lot of things to worry about when they're setting up for a WrestleMania event. When they're holding a show of shows in New Jersey in early April, you always have to be aware of snow. Vince McMahon has a plan in case it snows at WrestleMania. They're going to do the show anyway. He sees WrestleMania as a spectacle, and snow could only add to it. Unless there's a national state of emergency, then WrestleMania 35 is going to happen no matter how much it might snow. This obviously takes a very big blizzard, and that is not likely to happen this year. Just in case you're wondering, ABC 7 AccuWeather is forecasting nothing but sunny skies and 60 degrees for New Jersey on April 7th at MetLife Stadium. Then again, that is still a long ways off. When you're living in New York and you're living in New Jersey, around end of March, early April, there's a strong possibility that it will snow. That it will snow. This year, if you're living in the New York, New Jersey area, it didn't even snow that bad this year. It didn't. I'm like, when was the last time it snowed and we didn't get more than 7 inches of snow? The most I think we got this year was 4 or 5 inches of snow this year? I think it was like 4 to 5 inches of snow if you're living in the New York, New Jersey area. But Vince saying, oh, even if there's a blizzard, we're still gonna do the show. So you're risking your superstar getting sick. You're risking your superstar getting sick, frostbite, depending on the degrees that day. You know, they can get frostbite, they can fucking catch a cold and shit, get sick. Weather can be a very serious thing. So keep that in mind, man. WrestleMania could possibly snowed for WrestleMania. Speaking of WrestleMania main event finish could be changed after Ronda Rousey's heel turn. WWE Evolution was a historic event in World Wrestling Entertainment history. It was a boring show. The only matchup that was good that whole entire night was Becky and Charlotte, last woman standing. That's it. But then again, we got Ronda versus Nikki Bella in the main event of Evolution. Mind you, Evolution was supposed to be a house show, but they put it to a pay-per-view. The event concluded with a huge ovation for the entire women's roster as they celebrated the moment. WWE was planning a huge feel-good moment to close out the short shows, but that might be on the cutting room floor now. The company was planning for a big send-off at WrestleMania as well, much like how they closed out Evolution. However, with Ronda Rousey a heel, that might have changed the WWE's plans for an emotional embrace after the main event match. After all, those plans were made before the decision was handed down to turn Rousey heel. The original plan before Becky Lynch was even inches into the match was for Rousey and Flair to embrace each other in the middle of the ring following the Mania main event. We have been told that Stephanie McMahon was supposed to come out along with the women's division to give the competitors a round of applause along with a sold-out MetLife Stadium. I mean, depends who's going to fucking be there after the fact that WrestleMania could be fucking 8 hours long for WrestleMania. Now those plans might have changed completely. The end of WrestleMania might not include an emotional closing segment, but the electricity in the stadium, depending who's fucking there, will certainly create plenty of excitement regardless if Becky Lynch is able to pull down the win at WrestleMania. At this time, the Raw Women's title match is still slated to close out the show of shows. I'm going to say this now. Becky is obviously going to win the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. There's no fucking question. There's no question. Now, a feel-good moment We got that back at Evolution. I don't want to see that at WrestleMania. You're going to humanize Becky Lynch even more if you do, an emotional segment at WrestleMania. Becky wins, the fireworks come out, the pyro goes crazy, end of the show. I don't want to see no fucking, some emotionally embracing shit, crying and shit. No. Becky wins the championship, the pyro goes off, the fucking building goes fucking crazy at WrestleMania, over fucking 80,000 people, and then you can go off the air. I don't want to see no embracing and crying and wah. Becky is going to make Ronda tap out. That's all I want to see at WrestleMania. That's it. Coming into the Undertaker news, the greatest of all time, known as the Undertaker, in my honest opinion. Indication that the Undertaker could be returning very soon. As reported by PW Insider, legend The Undertaker was at the WWE Performance Center earlier this week amid rumors that he could be returning to in-ring action soon. The dead man has been absent from World Wrestling Entertainment for a while now, since fucking Crown Jewel, with some fans wondering whether or not he would be quietly hanging up his boots sooner rather than later. At this moment in time, it seems like he's still a somewhat active competitor in the sense that there's every chance he could return at WrestleMania 35, and there's just as much of a chance that he doesn't. Fans often pretend like they know what he's going to do year in and year out, when at the end of the day, they don't seem to have a clue, and neither do we. One thing that fans can potentially get excited about is the fact that Taker went to the Performance Center this week along with his wife, Michelle McCool. There's been no confirmation as to what he was doing there one way or the other, but it's certainly interesting to know. Both Taker and McCool have made appearances on television in recent years, with some wondering whether or not either of the two will return for one last extended run. It doesn't seem like it's all too likely, and perhaps as a visit to the PC was for no other reason than to catch up with old friends. With that being said, the nature of professional wrestling fans leads us to believe that the speculation will continue for many more days and weeks to come. Do you want to see The Undertaker at WrestleMania 35? No. At this point, he's not needed. With 2 weeks to go to WrestleMania, there's no point. I wouldn't mind if Taker makes an appearance at WrestleMania, shows his face and shit. I wouldn't mind it. But, here's what I'm doing with The Undertaker. Now, you can do this in two possible ways here. Scenario number one. You can book the night after WrestleMania in Barclays Center at the hottest crowd of the entire year. Finn Balor comes out, and I said this a couple weeks ago. Finn Balor comes out, wants to challenge for the Universal Championship. He wants to win back the Universal title that he never lost. All of a sudden, we get this gong in the air. Taker comes out, unadvertised. You do the same thing you did when Shawn Michaels cut that promo before Super Showdown. You have Taker show up unannounced at Barclays Center. Taker comes out, challenges Finn Balor to a match at WrestleMania. I want the Demon King at WrestleMania. And then you build this match to a whole year. Same thing you did with Rock and Cena the night after WrestleMania 27, and it bled all the way to WrestleMania 28. You do that. Demon King versus the Dead Man at WrestleMania with Taker's retirement match. There you go. You don't book this at SummerSlam. You don't book this at Survivor Series. You don't book this at the Royal Rumble. You book the Demon King versus the Undertaker at WrestleMania, and you build this for the entire year, for the rest of the year. You build Balor versus Taker. You got Taker appearance some way, somehow. Boom, boom, boom. You give me Balor versus Taker at WrestleMania 36 next year in Tampa. Or scenario 2. Taker comes out, cuts a promo about the fact that he's back, and he wants to And he wants to announce that this is going to be that WrestleMania 36 will be his last WrestleMania. Officially retiring after WrestleMania 36. All of a sudden, Sting comes out. Barclays Center, the Raw after WrestleMania. Sting comes out. He looks at Taker dead in the eyes and he says, the reason why I came to World Wrestling Entertainment was to fight you. We couldn't have this happen 3 years ago at WrestleMania 32. We could have had this match back then 3 years ago. But I want it next year. If you're going to retire Taker, I want to be the guy that retires you at WrestleMania. Then you book it. You treat this the same way Rock and Cena going into WrestleMania 28. Sting versus The Undertaker. We get that dream match that we always wanted. This time, Sting can possibly end Taker's career at WrestleMania next year in Tampa. Let me know down in the comment section, man. I would love to see that. Are you guys good with scenario 1 with Finn Balor or scenario 2 with Sting? Let me know down in the comment section, man. Undertaker could be returning soon as he was at the Performance Center. More Undertaker news, man. Undertaker's next scheduled World Wrestling Entertainment match has been confirmed. Wrestling Observer Newsletter is reporting that Undertaker has said he'll be working a similar schedule in 2019. His next appearance is scheduled for May 3rd in Saudi Arabia. This is the next pay-per-view after WrestleMania. This could be a sign that the dead man is not retired, and also be a huge sign in which WWE values most if he misses WrestleMania. We will have to wait and see what kind of match Undertaker will be booked in. As of yet, no opponent has been named. World Wrestling Entertainment will have to get WrestleMania out of the way before anything like that can be arranged. Like I said, Taker doesn't have to be at WrestleMania. He can make an appearance at WrestleMania. I don't mind it. As for Taker in a match at WrestleMania, it's not needed. You're not going to build the Undertaker match with 2 weeks to go to WrestleMania. You're not going to do it. It's impossible. But Undertaker's next scheduled opponent, his next scheduled match is at May 3rd in Saudi Arabia. May 3rd. There's news on Sting. Sting says he would return to the ring only to face The Undertaker. No one else. Sting and The Undertaker have taken part in a multitude of amazing feuds, but they never faced each other. This is a dream match that fans are still clamoring for. It doesn't look likely, but Sting is game. While speaking to Wrestling Travel, Sting was asked if there was anybody out there that would cause him to make an in-ring return. There was only one option for the Stinger, because he still wants The Undertaker after all these years of not being able to make it work. This was Sting said, and I quote, I mean, everyone knows who would be Taker. He's the only guy I come out of retirement for now. No one else. We could just never get together to make it happen. When I started talking to World Wrestling Entertainment, he was booked with Brock, and then I did the deal with Triple H, and he had another feud going around at the time. So it was just one of those things we couldn't make happen. I don't regret not happening either. I mean, I got to face Triple H at my first WrestleMania, and the rest was set for the world title at Night of Champions when I broke my neck. So I didn't do too badly out of that deal. But yeah, the only person I'm getting in the ring for is Taker. End quote. With the current trend of nostalgia, Sting versus The Undertaker would sell a ton of tickets. However, it would have been nice to see this match happen a decade ago, or at least during Sting's short run with WWE. You can never say never when it comes to World Wrestling Entertainment, especially when Vince McMahon has such deep pockets nowadays. So there's still a chance, a very slim chance, that this match could still happen. I said this earlier, and I'm going to say this again. If you're booking Sting versus Taker, you book it on the Raw after WrestleMania. at Barclays Center the night after WrestleMania 35. That's the only way how you're booking this match. And I can see this happening. There's a possibility Vince can talk to Sting. Vince is going to talk to Sting on how he feels after, suffering that broken neck that he suffered against Seth Rollins. Even though it wasn't Seth's fault, Sting landed wrong on that corner powerbomb that he suffered that broke his neck. It wasn't Seth's fault. It's just that Sting landed wrong. I was watching the matchup yesterday, and I was thinking to myself, yeah, Sting landed wrong. It wasn't Seth's fault. Seth pushed Sting, not a lot. Not a lot of force was on that push. But Sting just landed wrong on his neck, which caused it to break, and then he had to get neck surgery and then retire during the Hall of Fame of 2016 WrestleMania 32 weekend. But I could see this possibly happen. If they do book Sting versus Taker at WrestleMania 36 in Tampa next year, I'll be the first person to say, I am going to Tampa. You can rest assured, if they're booking Sting versus Taker at WrestleMania next year in Tampa, I'm booking my flight to Tampa. I'm buying my WrestleMania tickets because I want to be there. If Taker even announces that he's retiring, I want to be there to fucking cry my eyes off. So Sting says he will return to the ring only to face The Undertaker. Let me guys know down in the comment section about that, man. Let me know. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to skip this one because this is not really important. There's news on Maria, but you know what? I'm just going to go quickly about it. Maria Kanellis has big WrestleMania plans. Maria? I do not even fucking remember the fact that she's fucking employed. I really don't. There's plans for Maria. I do not know why there's plans on her, but I'm just gonna go this shit real quick and slow. Maria Kanellis and Mike Kanellis are still on 205 Live as they attempt to make an impression on that brand. However, it hasn't really translated in the best positions for them on the card. Maria says Maria plans on changing that at WrestleMania. One fan sent a tweet at Maria Kanellis saying that they believe in the power of love. This has to be a casual at WrestleMania. Maria had a pretty interesting response to this, as she plans to be working twice on April 7th. This is what she said, and I quote, I plan on working twice at WrestleMania. #Kingmaker, #The Opportunist. We can only assume that Maria Kanellis is referring to the 2 Battle Royals slated for the show of shows. The WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal match has yet to be confirmed, so we have to wait and see on that if they end up having that match. Either way, Maria Kanellis is seeking to make an impact in MetLife Stadium one way or another. Do you care about Maria? Seriously. Danielle, if you're watching, I know you care. Trust me, I know you care. WWE, this is a pretty interesting one here. World Wrestling Entertainment is looking at Shayna Baszler for main roster call-up. Fucking lit. WWE is always looking to add star power to the main roster and sometimes kill it. And it seems like they could have another big call-up from NXT soon enough, because Shayna Baszler is reportedly on a short list to get her main roster call-up. I do not see Shayna Baszler walking out of Barclays Center as NXT Women's Champion. I don't. Wrestling News reports that the WWE is considering the possibility of calling Shayna Baszler up to the main roster. They also have some very interesting plans on what they will do with her NXT Conrad's Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. I said Maria. Marina Shafir. I apologize. It is not guaranteed that every big NXT superstar will have a fantastic run on the main roster. Shayna Baszler is 38 years old after spending a majority of her life in MMA. She could be a big success on the main roster, but we'll have to wait and see. Her stories in NXT might be dwindling to a certain extent, so calling her up makes sense. It wouldn't be all surprising to see her added to the main roster, and it could even happen as soon as the next Superstar Shakeup, which is scheduled for the Raw 2 weeks after WrestleMania in Montreal. Can you imagine Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. Becky wins the Raw Women's title. Ronda goes on his hiatus and shit. You bring in Shayna Baszler. She fills in for Ronda Rousey. You have Rousey take this fucking hiatus. You have Baszler versus Becky for the Raw Women's title. Take my fucking money. And whether you like it or not, whether you like this or not, Shayna, overall, her promo skills, her in-ring work is way, way, way better than Ronda Rousey. Don't at me on this topic. Don't at me. I love Shayna Baszler in NXT. She's going to be that much better on the main roster, but they have to be careful how they book Shayna Baszler. If you're going to book Shayna Baszler the right way, book her the same way as she was down in NXT. It'll be a whole lot easier. It's like NXT is that nerd, and the main roster is that dumb kid, that stupid bully. All you gotta do is just, peek on his answers. That's all you have to do. NXT's that smart kid that gets, straight A's and shit, while the main roster is like a bully that gets C's, D's, and F's. All you have to do is just, copy just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just copy. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. So let me guys know down in the comment section about what you think about Shayna Baszler being called up to the main roster. I like it. It would be a good thing for Shayna Baszler, but it depends on how you book her. Speaking of NXT, WWE could be adding a female to Undisputed Era. Now, I know what you're thinking. And I know what you're going to ask me. Chris, what would you book as a female to be part of Undisputed Era? There's only one person in mind that I would even think about doing it. I would low-key do Marina Shafir in Undisputed Era. And I will tell you why. Wwe Reconsidering Entertainment has some interesting plans for NXT following WrestleMania. This is especially true if they end up calling up Shayna Baszler, as we have previously reported, is a possibility. Wrestling News reports that there is currently an idea within Wwe Reconsidering Entertainment to move Marina Shafir into Undisputed Era as a member of the faction. WWE has been testing this idea out during NXT's live events in the local Florida area with 6-person mixed tag matches. Shafir was teamed up with the Undisputed Era to take on Punishment Martinez, Matt Riddle, and Mia Yim. If WWE does this, then it could be a very interesting addition to the Undisputed Era's faction. It's also reported that if this does happen, that Jessamine Duke will be pushed as a singles competitor in NXT. Shafir and Roderick Strong are married in real life and have a child together. If Wwe Wrestling Entertainment places the two together in the Undisputed Era faction, it could have forced some realism to be brought into virtually any angle they book for them. As you guys know, Marina Shafir and Roderick Strong are married in real life and they have a child together. It does add a whole lot of realism if you add Shafir to Undisputed Era. It does. And one thing I said about, storytelling, sometimes you gotta add a little dose of realism. It makes that storyline a whole lot more better, and you have people invest towards that storyline. I would love if Marina Shafir joined Undisputed Era. At the same time, you can get not only Marina Shafir's feet wet, have her, under Undisputed Era's wing, tell her the ins and outs of NXT, how to get better, things like that. At the same time, you got Jessamine Duke. I could clearly see her as future NXT Women's Champion. I clearly can. Get her feet wet as well. Get her feet wet in the singles run. I think her, Jessamine Duke, as a singles competitor, it will only lift her up. It'll build up her stock just a whole lot better. At the same time, Marina Shafir, now, if she's possibly joining Undisputed Era, do the same thing. Get her feet wet. It'll build up her stock. And then once those two women are ready for the main roster, if they want to play that 4 horsewomen angle, they can do that right there for next year. Perfect. It'll be absolutely perfect. Let me guys know down below in the comment section what you think about Marina Shafir possibly joining Undisputed Era. We go from NXT now back to WrestleMania. WWE possibly cutting key matches from the WrestleMania card. WrestleMania is set to be the big show, and there are already 10 matches confirmed for the event, with even more rumored to come. However, the company might realize how long the event will be and are making an impact to switch things up a bit. Raja reports that WWE is trying to keep WrestleMania to 13 to 14 matches max. This falls in line with our previous coverage of the event. There are currently 10 matches announced for WrestleMania card, including the SmackDown Women's title, where Asuka doesn't even have an opponent yet. If you add in the Women's Battle Royal, which is expected to be the WWE Women's Tag Team title match, then that makes 12 confirmed matches. So we got 10 plus the Women's Battle Royal, which would be 11. Then you got the Women's Tag Team Championship match, which is 12. And then you want to add the SmackDown Women's title, which is 13. This leaves up the Intercontinental title match and both tag team title matches from the main roster's brands. And an IC title match is rumored, which could include a return of Finn Balor's Demon Persona. Even if you book that match between Lashley and Balor, I wouldn't even put the Demon King to come back. You didn't need it when you pinned fucking Leo Rush to win the IC title. But then again, you didn't need it against Brock Lesnar. What makes you think it's going to be that much important if you bring back the Demon King against somebody like fucking Bobby fucking Trashley? You want to bring up the Demon King against Bobby Trashley, but you couldn't bring it out against fucking Brock Lesnar back at the Royal Rumble. What type of logic is that? Are you fucking serious? It'll be a waste of a fucking appearance from the Demon King. And on top of that, the last time we saw the Demon King was 2017 in TLC against AJ Styles. Against AJ. And that matchup went fucking phenomenal. But you're gonna waste a Demon King appearance against Bobby Lashley? Come on. Save that possibly, and I say this with complete confidence, possibly against The Undertaker next year in Tampa for WrestleMania. Save the Demon till then. Save the Demon till then. We previously reported that Wwe Wrestling Entertainment might be snubbing their male tag team champions at the shows, which might not be a good look. However, if Wwe Wrestling Entertainment is trying to limit the show, then certain cuts will be need to be made. This is what happens when you want to put everybody on the card. That's what happens. When you want to put everybody else on the card that doesn't even deserve to be at WrestleMania's card. Speaking of the tag team division, this bleeds on that previous report will bleed into this one. Wwe Wrestling Entertainment might be snubbing the tag team division at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 35 is already stated to be the longest event in WWE history. 8 fucking hours. And it already has a loaded card. However, despite the fact that it was said the company plans on defending all the main roster titles on the show, that might not happen in reality. No pun intended, of course. WWE has a big promise to the Revival. Since when they make promises to somebody? They made a promise to Charlotte. And look what happened now. Charlotte is in the main event of WrestleMania. Possibly the main event. But the company made a big promise to Revival that they would be featured in a big way in the tag team division. The thinking is that Wwe Wrestling Entertainment is gearing up the tag team division to compete with AEW, who'll be featuring tag team wrestling. Mike Johnson said on PW Insider Elite Audio that Wwe Wrestling Entertainment could be planning to snub both the Revival and the Usos this year. This is what Mike Johnson said, and I quote, "I don't think there's going to be any tag team title matches. I think they're going to throw those guys into the Battle Royal too," end quote. The Usos are also a very interesting team right now because of the current contracts are set to run out in April, and they are still SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Therefore, you have champions of both brands that either want to or could be leaving World Wrestling Entertainment. We have heard with the WrestleMania card stacked so high already that the company might elect to not book tag team title matches for either of their men's main roster titles. This snubbing will not be received well, so let's hope they change their minds. Bayley and Sasha are slated to defend their women's tag team title at the shows with the Iconics defeating the Boston Hug Connection this week on SmackDown. It looks like they could be planning for a four corners match for those titles. There's a push within the company to control the number of WrestleMania matches this year. The fact that they already have around 17 matches planned for the card could be a big telling sign that they don't want to make it 19 because if they are going to do that, then they might as well add another match to round up to an even 20. This is the reason why I sold my WrestleMania tickets. Because I do not want to be there for 8 fucking hours at WrestleMania. My WrestleMania is on Friday night. NXT TakeOver New York with Adam Cole versus Gargano for the NXT title best 2 out of 3 falls. That's my WrestleMania, man. Friday night, April 5th, TakeOver Barclays Center. That's my WrestleMania. At the same time, I do not feel bad if you're at WrestleMania's card. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. You paid good money to be in that stadium. Guess what? You're gonna be there for 8 fucking hours. Hope you guys bring your fucking blankets and your pillows there for WrestleMania. If they even allowed that in the fucking building at this point. Finally, guys, to end this long podcast, how long are we in here? 51 minutes of this podcast. You guys better hit that thumbs up, man. Hit that thumbs up. It is very important for you guys to hit that thumbs up. How serious AJ Styles was about leaving World Wrestling Entertainment for AEW. AJ Styles is not leaving World Wrestling Entertainment. He resigned a new contract and made the announcement official, along with letting everyone see a picture of his adorable new puppy. Fucking adorable is that fucking puppy. The Wrestling Observer newsletter mentioned this news in the latest issue. Along with the report, Dave Meltzer also included a huge hint about AJ Styles' actual intentions when it came to leaving WWE. This is what Dave Meltzer had to say, and I quote, "He had expressed little serious interest in AEW, while obviously they would have liked to have him, and he's friends with the Young Bucks. At no point did anyone ever talk seriously about the idea he'd be coming in. AJ Styles is currently booked in a WrestleMania match that could headline the show of shows. He is slated to face Randy Orton in a match that is 100% deserving in such of a big stakes. I expect AJ versus Orton to steal the show at MetLife Stadium. This confidence in AJ Styles to book such a high-profile Mania match speaks volumes on WWE's part. The company obviously had enough faith in AJ Styles to put him in a big WrestleMania match, even if his contract wasn't actually signed yet. Now we can only assume that Styles will remain a focal point on the top of the card for whichever main roster brand he continues with after the show of shows." I wouldn't put AJ on Monday Night Raw. If they were to put AJ Styles on Raw, I know Vince was dying to put AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw. I don't see AJ on Monday Night Raw. He's a SmackDown guy. Listen, I love AJ. There's nothing wrong, I have to say, bad about AJ. He's one of the greatest of all time. My honest opinion. But if you're going to push AJ to Raw, is he going to be that much important on Raw? Because on SmackDown, clearly, he's a big focal point on SmackDown. Big focal point. You guys like AJ, Orton, Joe, Ray, Amish, Bryan. All those guys. Low key, you're going to cripple SmackDown, that roster on SmackDown, if you move AJ to Monday Night Raw. And then at the same time, if you're going to book AJ to go to Monday Night Raw, they're obviously going to put Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Because I'm going to say this now. You cannot put AJ and Roman in the same roster. Just how you cannot put Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns on the same roster. I expect Drew McIntyre to be moved to SmackDown after WrestleMania and then have Drew McIntyre go after the WWE Championship. Let me say this now. If Drew McIntyre gets moved to SmackDown, Don't be surprised if Drew McIntyre competes, possibly at SummerSlam, for the WWE Championship. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. That is it, guys, for episode 13. Well, yeah, episode, I think 12. I think it's episode, I think so. Not too sure. But thank you guys so much for enjoying this episode of the podcast. If you guys enjoyed this episode of the Reality Podcast, man, smash that thumbs up. Let's get this video to 10 thumbs up right here on episode number 12. I think it's 12 or 13. Let me look at my phone real quick. Because my God, I am tired. I am fucking exhausted, people. Do not mind me. I am freaking exhausted. Right now, we are at, yeah, episode 13. Yeah, I recorded 12 last week, so this is 13. This is episode 13, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 13 of the Reality Podcast, man. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed this podcast, man, hit that thumbs up. Let's get this a 10 thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys thought of the podcast tonight. If you guys are new to the channel, looking for Raw review, SmackDown review, NXT review, Throwback Thursday, Top 10 Friday, a wrestling podcast, and gaming content here on the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Ring those bells, man, for all notifications, man. Check out the content, man. Top 10 Fridays is up on the channel live. Throwback Thursday right now, live on the channel, man. NXT, SmackDown, Raw, all of these videos, man, will be on the upper right-hand corner of your screen in the annotation. Link to that video, to all these videos, to all these content, will be in the annotation on the upper right-hand corner of your screen.